Hi everyone, so welcome to Beta T-25. Yeah, I've been quite remiss in this past week about posting because I ended Alpha just as I went to London again for the weekend. So the Alpha post has gone out a little bit late for the end of my Alpha series. But yeah, this is the start of Beta. I actually started it yesterday, did the first one yesterday, which was Cardio Core, which was surprisingly okay. It really was. It was tough, but I actually think the fact that you don't get any rest, you don't get nearly as many rests in Beta, and you do need equipment as well, but it's very basic equipment, is better. You don't get nearly as many rests, you don't get as many sort of what I would consider rest periods when even you're still doing exercises. You actually get a chance to rest the muscle groups you've been using. It's certainly easier on the cardio. You don't get that nearly as much in core cardio. And it was tough, and there's bits where you do the, oh my god, can I keep going? But it was okay. It was okay. Although the first time I did a lot of them in the first week of Alpha, I thought they were okay, and then they got harder and harder. Yeah, maybe this is going to be terrible in 2 weeks or 3 weeks time. I don't know. So that was yesterday. Today is what's today? Oh, Speed 2.0. So Speed 1.0 was overall my favourite last time round. It was the exercise that I enjoyed the most, and not necessarily I got the most out of, to be fair, but I definitely enjoyed doing the most because it was kind of light on your toes, and not necessarily the one I found the easiest. By the end, the lower focus, even though it's just all on your legs and it was excruciating at points, I found that the easiest to deal with. I still found the total body circuit the most difficult. I still found the cardio the one that got you going the most, and then the abs. By the end of all 5 weeks, the abs one got me the most sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Tense is probably the best word. I found I got a lot out of the abs exercise by the final week. So overall, just as a summary for Alpha, Alpha seemed to get more difficult, it genuinely did, but it's given me, I think, the tools. I haven't done every exercise in Beta yet, but it's given me the tools I need in order to do Beta. I think that's what it's basically designed to do. By the end of Alpha, I don't think you're necessarily meant to get much better at the exercises, I mean, some people might get to the end of Alpha and find they can do it really easily. I've got to the end of Alpha finding that finding the exercise is still quite difficult, but I'm getting used to the rhythm, I'm getting used to the idea of it. I haven't really lost any weight, and my measurements are very, very similar to the start of Alpha. That might be something to do with the fact that I'm not altering my diet really that much at all, and I'm certainly not really altering the amount of beer I intake. It's this time of year, I've got a lot of things going on which kind of like have a celebratory feel to them, and I'm not particularly lessening the amount of beer I drink or the amount of alcohol, so that's probably got something to do with the fact that I've not really lost any weight. But I do feel fitter, and I do feel better for doing it. I think the weight loss probably will start with Beta because Beta's a bit more difficult, and I am going to cut down after this week. This is my last full week in work before the summer holidays. So after this week I'm probably going to cut down a bit, but I'm not going to stop beer completely or anything because it's what I like doing when I socialise. So, you know, to sum up for Alpha, good start, not as much difference as I thought there'd be, but when you think about it, I'm not that surprised. So going into Beta now, I've got high hopes for Beta. I've had a quick glance at some of the exercises and they do look excruciatingly difficult, but again, they're meant to be. So this is where, for me, it kind of steps up a gear. This is when it's been given the basis, which I didn't find easy at all, and now we're going up a stage. So my goal for the first week is to make it through all of these exercises, to not have to quit them, basically. If I can make it through this week without quitting at any point, we're on the right track as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, this is the start of Beta, and what I'm going to do in this first one, I've said to you how I felt about Alpha, how I feel about Beta, and then how I feel after the first time you've seen me do a beta exercise, which I'd say today is speed 2.0. 2.0. How would you do a point? 2.0? Is that right? I don't know. I'm trying to think. This might make me sound old. Did anybody remember the Phones for You advert? Whether it phones for you, and the fact that I've got that quick at going Phones for You means that yeah, I'm a very sad person indeed. But if instead of Phones for You, it was speed. I don't know what's speed. Speed 2.0. No, I can't even do it. This is ridiculous. Speed 2.0. Yeah? I almost look like a C to you, I would have thought so. So speed 2.0. There we go. Is that right? I mean, I've no idea how this looks. That probably looked absolutely ridiculous and quite sad and a bit strange. So, getting back to it, I'm doing speed 2.0 now. And we'll see what Sean's got in store for me this time. He was okay yesterday. It was weird actually because he sounds quite patronising at points in Alpha. Sean T. In this one, he doesn't sound as much because he assumes you've done all of Alpha and you've got through it, so he just kind of assumes you're quite good anyway and just blasts you. He shouts at you a bit more, but it's not as I'm with you for 25 minutes a day. It's more like just get it done, and so that's alright. I don't mind that. So yeah, so let's see how the start of beta goes. So, just done speed 2.0 and it was good. I nailed that. I'm going to tick nailed that on that one. I barely had to stop. There's a few times when my calves flared up, but I barely had to stop. I really like that because that's the same sort of interval training I used to do, which is do it for a long period of time, then do the same thing again for a shorter period of time, then do it for even shorter, and then change the routine. So you had two different routines, you had two different rounds, and you did like the exercises, did this sort of like the circuit, then you did it for a shorter time, then you did it for an even shorter time, and then you changed, and at the end you did the whole thing through twice. And it was really good. You get used to the exercises, your feet start to move. I now know why in Alpha there was so much emphasis on your lower body, because I think at the start of Alpha there's no way I would have been able to do that with the strength I've got in my calves and my legs. Now I'm fine because my calves are used to being pummeled and destroyed on a daily basis, but I think that's given me the ability to get through that exercise, because that's a lot about cardio. That's about, well, it is about speed and agility from what he says, you know, that is true. But it's about being on your toes and it's about constantly moving, and in order to do that you do need to have, particularly in your calves, a strong basis of support, which I now have after those 5 weeks. Yeah, that went really well. I'm not quite sure what tomorrow is. I'll have a look, but yeah, so to sum up, Alpha went well. The last few weeks were the hardest, definitely, and I did expect more of a change in how my body looks than it has done. However, betas started really well. Let's hope that this can just be a curve I can just keep going up on, I can just keep powering through. But beta started really well, so feeling good about it. So and I'll try and remember to post soon this time.